what's up? It's Bethany, and as you know, Mother's Day is right around the corner, so I decided that I would DIY something for my mom, and I wanted it to be both useful and sentimental because that's kind of the goal that I go for with most of my gifts. What I made her was a DIY tablet holder, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that today. I personally did a design where I inscribed it with a family recipe, but of course you guys don't have to do that. You could paint it, you could initial it with your mom's monogram or something like that, and you don't even have to make this for your mom. You could make it for an aunt or a grandma or anyone who could use this and would appreciate it a lot. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get into it. For this DIY, you are going to need a paddle style cutting board. The one that I bought was solid wood. Then you will need a wood burner if you choose to do that step. You will also need some wood glue or craft glue that's pretty strong. I used Gorilla brand wood glue and regular Gorilla glue. And then you will also need a Scrabble piece and a backing of a frame. So I simply unwrapped my cutting board, and can we please just admire the wood grain for this board? It is beautiful. But I'm going to glue the Scrabble piece onto it using the wood glue, so I'm just going to align it where I want it, and then I'm just going to draw a little mark so I know where to glue it. Next, I'm going to use my wood glue, and make sure that you're reading the directions on your glue before you apply it because different brands have different rules for their product. So this one, the drying time was about 2 hours for total drying time, and then it wanted me to let it sit for 24 hours so it would fully solidify. And then it told me only to use a little bit because it said it expanded while drying, so I'm only using a small amount, and then I'm spreading it out over the entire board. So then I'm going to apply some pressure to it, and it says that I'm supposed to clamp the pieces together while drying, but I didn't have a way to clamp them. So I just let it sit on my desk, and it worked out perfectly and it dried perfectly. So I'm going to be completely honest, if you want this project to be fast and fairly simple, I would not recommend using the wood burner. It takes a while to get used to using it, and it's actually pretty difficult to write words especially. So if you decide to use the wood burner, here's how I did it. But if you don't choose to use it, you could always paint words onto it in a recipe, or you could just paint a design or even wood burn a design. I'm sure that's probably easier than wood burning words. Or just anything that you want that can add decoration, or you could totally just leave it in the natural wood state because that is just as beautiful as well. If you decide to wood burn, you should practice on something before you actually do your project. I used this little box that I had sitting around, and I just burned a few patterns into it just to practice the strokes of the pen. So this is my family recipe that we've had in our family for years, and I decided that I wanted to burn it onto my cutting board / iPad holder. So I decided to cut it out and arrange it the way that I thought it would look best and it would fit best on my board. Then I am just going to write out my recipe. Of course, you don't have to write it out. You could try to reverse print it and then somehow carbon copy it onto it, but I thought it would be a lot easier to just script it out, and it's a lot more personal because it is your own handwriting. Unfortunately, my handwriting is not as nice as the font that I chose. Now for the hard part. So I used a wood burner, and I'm using like a pointed pen-like tip, and I decided I would just go for it. So what I did was I slowly and surely wrote the words, and of course I was tracing, so that made it a lot easier to know what I was doing. And make sure that you don't press down too hard and you don't leave it too long, otherwise you're going to have little holes of fire spots. So just be careful when you're doing this, and it takes a lot of patience and it's pretty hard, so if you don't do it, I will not blame you at all. So I finally finished wood burning this, and I really liked how it turned out. Of course, it took me a really long time, and it would be a lot easier to just write it in marker or paint it or something like that. But of course, if you guys want to put in the effort to wood burn it, it is definitely worth it. And I'm just going to attach the final piece. So I used my regular Gorilla Glue and an old frame backing that I had because I wanted to be able to open and close the back so that I could put this into a drawer or something when I didn't need it sitting around the kitchen. And then I just lined it up and played with some angles to make sure that I liked how it stood. In the end, I ended up putting it smack in the middle, and it was the perfect angle and height for what I wanted. then I'm just going to take my regular Gorilla Glue because the backing that I used was not wood, and so I figured, why not, I'll just use this different kind of glue. And I'm just going to apply that all over the back. This glue also expanded in time, so I wanted to use a thin layer, and just make sure that you spread it all over in the corners so that it doesn't slip off when you have a tablet on there. And the reason why I'm struggling so much, as you can see, is because the glue is really sticky and it did not want to come out of the bottle. And then I'm just going to stick that onto the back of my board, and yes, it is black, but you could always paint yours a different color like brown or something. I just decided to go with black because it's a neutral color and it's the back of my tablet holder. And then to secure that down and make sure that it doesn't move while it's drying, I used 2 rubber bands that were pretty thick, and I just stuck those over the back so that it would hold down while it's drying, and so it would stay in place and be sturdy. So I allowed this to dry about 2 hours long, and of course the drying time will vary by the glue that you are using, so it just depends on the glue that you're using and what kind of conditions or weather that you have it in. I just had mine indoors, and then I'm just going to remove those rubber bands, and there we go, I'm done. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video and had a lot of fun making this project for your mom or someone else in your family just like I did. And please give it a thumbs up if you would like to see more videos like this one, or leave a comment down below with any video requests or questions or comments, and I will be sure to answer all of them. I will make sure to leave all of the products that I used in the description box, and you can just click a link and buy the same thing if it's still available. And I hope that you guys don't forget to subscribe after you watch this video, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.